The goal of the machine is to create a setting where the user can get into a state of deep human flourishing, creating work that's at the absolute extent of their personal abilities. That's from Deep Work by Cal Newport, and I'll get back to that. But here we go. Flow rep. I have this idea that in 2 hours I can do a video and it be like a useful one. It's going to be about flow reps. What is a flow rep and why 2 hours? What's a flow rep? I got this from Rian Doris's video, How to Train Deep Focus in 2 sessions a week. You find a couple times where you can do one activity for 120 minutes. I don't know that picking this, like making a video, is exactly the best version of this because it involves, I was still like browsing the internet, that sort of thing. For the purpose of practicing focus, I think the purest thing is, and very simple, is reading a single book for that entire time, or just writing as a single task for 2 hours. I guess meditating would be like the most pure thing, but that seems like a different thing altogether. In this case, I am trying to at least scope it to this one activity of making a video with that as a goal. And there are a few different things where it's writing and then recording this and then doing like the B-roll, like the editing. So those can be pretty flowy themselves. So this is kind of like chopping up the 120 minutes into a few different sessions, but it could be a pretty good chunk of writing and then a pretty good chunk of editing. So I think this will work fine. The second section here, the first thing to be able to do this flow rep is you just need to use a machete to cut through this jungle of distraction in the first place. For me, I was ready to go, or so I thought, but I got to my desk and then the treadmill was there. Still, I already had like my steps for the day, so I wanted to sit down while doing this. Then I thought, oh, it'll be cool for this video to have a time lapse of this. Oh, I should grab the Insta360 so I can have more interesting looking time lapses as I do this. So I went to go find that. Got it. Needed to get the stuff off the SD card in it to free up some space. And then I started to think, oh, I need another SSD. This one is running out of space. So I started to look up external SSDs. Finally did the transfer. Then I was feeling a little hot, went to change into shorts. Then I thought, oh, it's nighttime. I need to take Bubs out for her last potty. Did all that so that I could just sit here and try to make this video. Finally came down, set the camera up, started recording. I moved the walking pad, but then I just started looking through the old Insta360 footage that I transferred over. But I caught myself and thought like, okay, let me actually like start making this video. And it's not going to be going through old footage. It is going to be through writing. So I finally started my time timer, which I love. I have a huge one. I have a bunch of others. Started that and could now finally get focused. Section 3 here, I said, put yourself on Mars for a bit. In The Martian, Matt Damon is stranded on Mars and pretty much has no distractions. He's just focused on getting back to Earth. I guess there's also something similar with Odyssey, with the Sirens, where he sets up a situation also where there's no turning back. He straps himself in and he can't change his mind at that point. Or yes, his crew strap him in. In a similar way, I have a couple favorite tools for locking in when I'm trying to do something at the computer. So the first, if it's just for writing, I'll use Cold Turkey Writer. It's this app that locks down your computer and you can set either a word goal or a time goal. I like to do 1,000 words. That's usually what I would use it for. And I've used it like hundreds of times in the past, over the past, I don't know if I've had it for probably like 10 plus years. It's a pretty blunt instrument though. Sometimes I'll accidentally set it to 1,000 minutes when I meant to set it to 1,000 words. And then I need to reset my laptop. But sometimes I need to do a little more than write. So I might need to use other apps that can be Notion, Figma, Readwise, Final Cut, Descript, whatever the tool is for the task. In that case, there's another Cold Turkey app called Cold Turkey Micromanager. It lets you pick the apps you want to stay locked in on, and then you can set a time restriction. This brings me to section number 4, the eudaimonia machine. And this is back to that quote from the intro that was about creating a machine for human flourishing through doing deep work. In Deep Work, it's this discussion that Cal Newport had with a professor, David Dewayne, and he describes it as kind of like a railroad apartment. So you go in a line of different rooms and you cannot go in a loop. So you go from one room to the other. And it is the gallery. So this is a room that has examples of work made in the machine to start to get you inspired about being in this building. Number 2 is the salon, a casual place, coffee, bar, couches, Wi-Fi. Here's where you could debate about ideas. Number 3, the library. This is, again, more work. This is like the archive of work from the machine. There's books, other resources, copiers, scanners. Remember, this is like supposed to be this idea for like a physical space. Number 4, office space. So conference room, whiteboard, cubicles. This is where you would do some of the low intensity, shallow effort admin work. This is where you can really like clear the deck before you enter room number 5. It would have this set of deep work chambers. So 6 by 10 feet and soundproof is what he says, which these would be for total focus and uninterrupted work. And I was thinking about this. Maybe there's some kind of digital version of this. It could be a sequence of locks that I create with Cold Turkey Micromanager. And then for the library, the digital version, Notion, Readwise, Obsidian, whatever second brain tool I have for the day, is I basically just need the deep work chamber, the digital version of that, and having different configurations of apps that I lock myself into for the task at hand. In this case, tonight it is making a video. So to make a video, I think the deep work chamber combinations for this 2-hour focus rep would be, number 1, writing the script, which I did in the previous hour. The apps here would be Notion. Tonight it was Notion. Sometimes I write them in Obsidian. I haven't locked myself into one or the other. And then number 2 would be filming A-roll. That's what I'm doing right now. And I have OBS and Notion. And then number 3, adding B-roll. So I was thinking of locking myself into, I've been using Descript for video editing recently. So next will be locking myself into Descript for, it looks like I have, let's see, 35 minutes left. The breakdown I had here for 2 hours was writing the script would be 1 hour, filming A-roll would be 15 minutes, and then adding B-roll would be 45 minutes. Anyway, I'll try that. Time to add some B-roll. Hopefully I finish it off with a time lapse and a clip of me talking about finishing this video at the end of the hour. The timer is about to go off. Did I finish in 2 hours? No, I did not get very much B-roll done at all. So let's extend it to 30 more minutes. Timer just went off. Pretty much done now. So another 30 minutes did do the trick, but I still have to go through probably like another 10 minutes. Exporting, publishing. Main lesson from this, I would say, is it does feel good to focus. It does seem totally worth it to pick an activity, do it for 2 hours. I'll do another flow rep video in the future. Thanks for checking this out.